Wow, we got lots of extra music and sounds going on here. The place is rocking. The place is out of control. Here we are. We got so much to talk about. There's so much going on. It was such a big day in the world of JETS, 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 Jets. There's so much going on this season. Fans are jumping ship. They're abandoning. They're abandoning us already. And we still have a winning record, yet they're abandoning us. And we're going to talk about all of that when we get back after I don't know. I'm not going to say these messages. It's not like a sponsor or anything. It's me giving you some kind of promo to watch. I don't know why we do it. It's just I'm copying everybody else. So anyway, here you go. We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media, Matt O'Leary, Iowa Jets fan, in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live, CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. See what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Woo.
Jets by a million today.
Yeah. All right. So here we are. Harlan, what's going on? Thank you, brother. You're right. They should hit the like button. Matt B is in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing? There absolutely cannot be any excuses. Johnny G in the house. BYU fans spreading more lies about me, saying things that aren't true. I don't know why. Everybody, you're talking to the wrong people here because everybody knows I'm as big a Zach supporter. Maybe not you because you're a BYU and you like him as a BYU guy, and I like him as a guy who was drafted by the Jets. But nobody looks stupider and nobody looks like a bigger liar than saying that Chaos is a Zach hater. And maybe we can explain it to you. Maybe we can help your brain process better and know what's really going on. We want Strevler. Where's the dum-dum part of your chat? You used to put dum-dum in there. I missed that. Where's the dum-dum? I don't understand. I'm going to this Lions game. I'm very excited. Second game I've ever been to. First one was 2019, Week 15 versus the Dolphins. I'm praying for a win with my new Elijah Moore jersey. That's awesome, dude. I got my Elijah Moore jersey. We got Chris Bradigan in here. What's going on, Bradigan? Pure Adrenaline Sports. I believe I'm going to be on his channel. He's back on YouTube. I'm going to be on his channel on Saturday, I think, morning. I'm not sure what time. It's kind of in the morning. Eastern time. It's like noonish around there. And Mike Cause, what's going on? Finnegan, what's going on? Twisted, what's going on? We got some guy in the back. I don't know. I forgot who he was. Okay. But before he even comes back, I'm going to clear the air on one thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I'll say it one more time for those of you who knew and don't know. I own two Zach Wilson jerseys. I love Zach Wilson before we even drafted him. I was begging for us to draft Zach Wilson. Okay, I put my life out there for Zach Wilson. I promised that he was going to be the answer to all of our problems and finally be a franchise quarterback. Okay, I supported him all through up until even when he was benched, and I still support him. Okay, but it doesn't make you a Zach hater. It doesn't make you a Zach hater if you are able to. Two things can be true. You could be someone who supports Zach Wilson, still wants him to work out and be great, but also be a person who acknowledges that at this moment in time, for the last 3 weeks, that Mike White was the better quarterback in the moment. For whatever reason, because Zach was going through some crazy stuff, he couldn't throw passes. I can't lie about that anymore. He was unable to throw a pass 5 yards to somebody. It was really bad. That doesn't mean I hate him. I want him to get better. And I agree that he needed time to work on his fundamentals. And the only people I yelled at was the ones saying we should be playing him, even and ignoring the fact that he's clearly struggling. So no, I am not a Zach Wilson hater, and I am very happy about the news that Zach Wilson is back on the active list because that means he must look better. And also, they realized that, Flacco, but I think they realized that Zach looks better. My co-host, Adam Watsuke99 is having connection problems. So I don't see him right now. I can't bring him in, but just know that he's trying. I don't know what he's doing about it. I don't know why. He used to have good connection, but like the last few weeks on every show, he's been struggling. So we're gonna hope that Adam is able to pop in. If not, it'll be just me. I got a poll. If you guys want to answer the poll, I see that there's some numbers coming in. When you come in, there should be a poll. Abraham, what's going on? You're yelling something about Bradigan. Hey, I started that with the whole Bradigan. I started that. I'm really excited that Ice Force Quests is going to get to go to the game. That's exciting. And I agree. I know a lot of people feel this way. We don't have an excuse to lose. We cannot lose this game. Like, I don't, it can't be. We can't, we can't say, oh, we had a bad break. The referee. No, we have to go out and win. We have to go out and win. There's going to be no excuses. We have to win. And if we don't deserve it. Like, if we can't beat Detroit and they're the hotter team, if we're going to go back into that thing of everybody else gets to become better and then beat us, and we're not the team that can step up and beat teams that are on a good streak, then we don't deserve it, guys. I mean, what could you do? What could you say? We don't deserve it. If we can't beat Detroit at home, we do not deserve it. And that's the bottom line, because Chaos says so. Hey, Snacks. Mess. What is up? It's good to see you. You are a snacker. Everybody, in case you don't know, here's one of the benefits that the snackers get. This morning, before the press conference with Salah, I made 2 videos. One was, Zach is back. Zach is named, active and will be the QB2. And I made another video that basically said Salah is not serious about the playoffs. He's actually going to put Flacco over Salah. I mean, Flacco over Zach Wilson. And I said that, and I made a whole video, and I was ready. And some of you might have noticed, if you were watching the press conference, that the moment that Salah said they're elevating Zach to QB2, boom, a video released from my channel. Zach is back. That was because I had 2 videos. Well, what happens to the other video? The would have been video if Joe Flacco would have been named. What happens to that video? I decided that only snackers get to see that video. Only my members and all my bloopers. From now on, I'm going to be sharing those videos with members of the channel, snackers on the channel. How do you become a snacker, you ask? It's very simple. If you look below, even on the page you're on now, or go to my page, when you go to the Chaos page, there's a button that says join. And that's all you have to do is join. And you have a couple of choices. Everybody who joins, even if you're a light snacker, gets those blooper videos or the videos that weren't meant to be. That's all you have to do is become a member. It's the price of a cup of coffee to sponsor the channel. Twisted is a snacker. Thank you, Twisted. And yeah, he's been having problems. I don't know. Yeah, he needs there. I don't know how much money that is, but maybe turning his phone into a hotspot would help him. I don't know. It's hard to give him advice because he's a grown man, and I'm sure he's tried everything. Like I doubt that I'm sure he's not too happy about the fact that his Wi-Fi is not working. Man, I hate when the chat I'm looking at that I can highlight is different than the chat. Oh my God, BYU fan, how many times are you going to put that same stat in? He has 1 touchdown and 22 red zone opportunities. It's not true. He had 3 touchdowns against Pittsburgh. He had there's a touchdown last week against Buffalo, and he's tons of field goals. Those are all drives that he put together, successful drives that he led. You can't just blame him. Show me the plays where he's messing up. What, when Berrios drops the ball that he throws into his chest? I mean, it's just stop saying nonsense. Stop the nonsense. It's like we all are happy that Zach is back in uniform. If Mike White goes down, most of us that are smart are happy Zach is back, and it'll be Zach. We're all going to root for him. We all want him to do well. But up till now, he's been awful. And yes, even with Mike White scoring 1 touchdown and 22 red zone opportunities, he's still better than what Zach was, unfortunately. That doesn't make me a hater. It makes me honest. It makes me honest. I can't change the truth. Nobody is more upset by it than me. Nobody predicted more than me. You don't have a YouTube channel. I went on this channel and I said 40 touchdowns for Zach Wilson. I'm the one that looks like an idiot. You think I'd like having to eat crow and sit here now and say that Mike White is the better quarterback? It's not the better quarterback forever, but right now. And I hope Zach proves it wrong. It's like, no, Zach is not 5-2. The Jets were 5-2 with him playing. There's a difference. I don't know how people can know so little and understand football in such a weak way. It's a team sport. It doesn't matter. A quarterback can play really bad. Based on your logic, you could have a pitcher in baseball, give up 8 runs in the first inning. And then his team scores 10 runs in the next inning. And he makes it 5 innings, gives up a total of 12 runs. His team wins 18-14. Then one of our other pitchers pitches the next day and loses the game 1-0. You're going to say the pitcher that gave up all the runs is better because he got the win? I mean, that's what you're saying. It's like, why did Zach Wilson beat Buffalo and Mike White didn't beat Buffalo? Because it's not them playing Buffalo, it's the team. Zach Wilson's defense, the defense that was playing with him that day for the Jets, got 2 turnovers. And nobody on Zach's team fumbled the ball. When we went into Buffalo, Mike White went in as the quarterback. We didn't get any turnovers. They didn't turn over the ball. And our team fumbled the ball twice. And our team, C.J. Mosley, jumped over the line of scrimmage. None of that had to do with Mike White. None of it. So it's stupid. I mean, how about having a brain and watching them play? You can't watch them play and not know. Why does Garrett Wilson suddenly up for Rookie of the Year? Why are people talking about Zach Wilson? Garrett Wilson. We didn't know who he was. You know why we didn't know who he was? Because Zach Wilson could not run an offense. He couldn't find him. He couldn't pass him a ball. And I hate saying that because I'm not a Zach hater. I love Zach and I want him to be good. But unfortunately, this season he hasn't been able to pull the trigger. He can't throw a pass. He throws a few and I cheer and I say, see, he's good. And then I say, it's really sad when you have to go crazy because your quarterback completed the pass and justify that to say, look, he is good. I mean, it's sad. And I'm rooting for him and I hope he gets over it. But right now, you can put up all the stats you want in the world. Anybody with a brain knows there's no argument that Mike White is playing better than Zach Wilson was playing. Unless you don't know anything about football. Or unless you're really not watching the game and you're just a wins-loss person. I mean, but when you have to use 5-2 as your argument of why he's better, that's the evidence that he's not better. Because that's the only evidence you have is 2 things you keep saying over and over again. You haven't talked about completion percentage. You haven't talked about the passing yardage. You haven't talked about anything that really measures a quarterback. Efficiency. You haven't talked about anything. You haven't talked about anything that involves the way they actually played. And if you watch the way they actually played, even beyond the stats, if Dom C was showing the film, he showed the film. Mike White was looking at the field, finding receivers when they were covered. He was checking it down. Zach Wilson was looking at the field, not throwing it to open receivers, not checking it down. He'd run the wrong way, running for his life. And I don't know why, and I hope he gets over it and he learns not to do that because the truth is Zach Wilson has a ton more talent than Mike White. There's no question. His arm talent is way better than Mike White. But Mike White is playing better. Mike White said he's playing better. I mean, Mike White is just simply playing better. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We know Zach is better as far as talent. At least I do. Not arguing that. But when Zach is in the game, our receivers aren't alive. They don't exist. There's no Elijah. There's no Garrett Wilson. We're not a real offense. The reason we don't know how Zach would be in the red zone because he never gets there. It's 1, 2, 3 and out every drive. Once in a while, he gets us there, 150 yards a game. I mean, he barely moves the ball. He throws 50%. What do you have? Like the last couple of games, it was like 50% completion. He had the one good game against Buffalo, but other than that, it's horrendous. And I wish it would be better. I'm not a Zach hater. I'm just honest. I mean, but Zach had one score in 22, one touchdown in 20. You're not counting running touchdowns? You're penalizing Mike White because his running back ran the ball into the end zone? That's so stupid. I'm sorry, but that's so stupid. You're so brainwashed. It's crazy how brainwashed people are. I mean, look, I don't blame anybody. You can have your opinion that you want Zach to be in the game. I think Zach is the future. I think he's more talented. I think we should just ride with him until he gets out of his slump. That's fine. That's your opinion. I'm not going to criticize that. But if you're saying that Zach was playing better football than Mike White has been playing, there's no defense for you. That's just somebody who's brainwashed, who's not seeing reality. Because it's not an opinion. It's not. It's a fact. It's factual. It's factual that Mike White was playing better. It's factual. Proven by tons of evidence. The stats even back it up, but more importantly, the film backs it up. Watch the film and you'll know who's been playing better. So the 5-2 is stupid. It's a stupid argument. Keep doing it and you'll make yourself look stupid. Or you could listen to somebody who knows more than you, who's smarter than you, and save grace, save face, and say it the right way. Say this: Zach is more talented. Zach has a higher ceiling. Zach should be in there because I believe he's our future. But don't say Zach should be in there because he's played better than Mike White is playing, because that just makes you look stupid. Sorry, but that's the truth. I'm more concerned if Q will start than about this stupid Zach White discussion. Enough already, people. That's the last I'm going to talk about it, I promise. And I'm going to block anybody from the chat forever if they keep bringing it up. Because you're right. Enough is enough. I've spoken my piece. And I think everybody with a brain knows the truth. So, it is what it is. Snowball, I wonder how good the reset button is. I don't know what that is. GVH, Chaos. Which O-linemen killed me and the team most versus Buffalo? Fans, according to Nania, played well. I think Laken Tomlinson is asking to be voted All-Pro, and I think he's terrible. I don't think, but that being said, I don't think Herbig had a good game. I think McGovern had his toughest game. I mean, I have to look at the tape to be sure, but my eye from the game, without looking at film, tells me that, I got the sense that McGovern had a bad game. It felt like there was a lot of crazy stuff going up the middle. I feel like Lincoln Tomlinson has been awesome, especially with run blocking. The worst. He's killing us. But also, I don't think Herbig did well run blocking. I think that the team did overall awful. And one thing I want to take back with McGovern is he may have been okay with the run blocking. I think it was the pass protection. I got to look. There was something about him that bothered me, and I don't remember. But honestly, I didn't look at the film. I didn't look at all 22. I didn't talk to Joe Blewett or listen to his take. I have no evidence to back up anything I'm saying based on the offensive line. I just know that the offensive line didn't play as well as they should, considering we were playing Buffalo's, I forgive them. The offensive line against Minnesota should have been better. The Buffalo, I won't blame. I'm not going to be too critical because it's like, come on. Buffalo's got one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. We don't make fun of the offensive line of the other team when our defensive line makes them look bad, right? We just simply take credit, pat ourselves in the back, and say we got Quentin Williams and Carl Lawson and JJ and Huff. We don't sit there and say that the other team's offensive line is horrible. And if they're, we would tell their fans, hey, take it easy on them, man. Our defensive line is great. Well, guess what? Buffalo's defensive line is great. So maybe it's not the week to be yelling and screaming at the offensive line. Maybe it's not so easy. I mean, those guys are tough to block. Yet Bam Knight seemed effective, which gets me very excited about Bam. Because even with the struggling and everything, he still finds a way to get positive yards. Jack of all trades, do you think we could get Jack Campbell? I don't know. Because I don't know when he's going to go in the draft. Because we're so competitive this year, I don't know nothing. A year ago, I was doing so many mock drafts, I was learning about all the players, and I started to have opinions, and I just got a feel for who might be available. We could pick 18th, or we could end up picking 23rd, 24th. It depends. Right now, there's so much parity. Just like if we win 3 out of the next 4 games, we're going to jump up some. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really hard to say. The real question is right now, when you don't know when you're going to draft, it's really trying to figure out, all things being equal, if the talent is the same, what position do you think we're going to go for? I think, that being said, that we might need more help on the offensive line. As much as I love Becton and hope he comes back healthy and hope that Max Mitchell comes back all right, Fant might be leaving if we don't pay him enough, and we might not be willing to pay him. Lakin is staying. Dwayne Brown might not stay. He's in pain. He might walk away from the contract. It's not like it's crazy money or life-changing for him. So I don't know. I think that we might need offensive line. I think we might have to bring in a guard and a tackle, because I don't know if we're going to be able to retain Herbig. And then Lakin is probably his last year. There's no way we're gonna pull any options on Lakin. We're gonna ride out his contract this year and then be thankful that Joe Douglas doesn't lock himself into any one player for more than 2 years, because Lakin Tomlinson is a bust contract for us. It's not that he's like the worst offensive guard in the league, but he's the most overpaid. Like, he's a huge bust signing. If we can go back and change that and not sign him, that'd be great. Do anything to erase that catastrophe. Oh, do you think, Twisted? That's an interesting thing. Do you think it's Jets forever? Do you think he's managing 2 accounts, or do you think it's some other troll? That's an interesting thing, because also I noticed he disappeared for a while, and somebody else was in here. Yeah, maybe he's flipping back and forth. Yeah, I'm gonna start blocking anybody who says the same stupid stat over and over, because to me that's just like bots. Like, he only scored 1 touchdown in the red zone 22 times. He only scored 1 touchdown in the red zone 22 times. So basically, that's the only thing you judge a quarterback by. So annoying. Thank you for bringing. Hey, what happened to the dumb thing? I saw it before. Always dumb, dummy, dumb. That should be in every message you post, Tony, because it's the thing that makes me laugh. Otherwise, it's just annoying messages. I placed 3 more $100 bets on the Jets Super Bowl. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Daniel, my man, if you win, you are one rich man. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we're gonna see how they play against Detroit, Raw Power. I mean, I will overlook Buffalo. Personally, that's how I feel. I'm like, I can't, like, not that I mean, look, not forever though. I mean, that's why we need Becton to come back, because we need superstars on the offensive line if you want to be able to block and win in the trenches against teams like Buffalo. And we're not there yet. I mean, you have to understand, we have a patched up offensive line. Herbig is a backup. He's playing well, like, for a backup, but he's a backup. Dwayne Brown was supposed to be a swing tackle. He wasn't supposed to be in there. So, we gotta, then even we can't catch a break. I mean, AVT is out. I mean, our best guys are out. I mean, if they can just keep us in it, we have to be kind of, grateful for that, you know? Right. I get that he's a linebacker, but like, how highly touted is he? I mean, the position works, because after offensive line, I was going to say, I wouldn't be against getting a linebacker, you know? Like, a linebacker is a good position for us to go for. Although I do think that, we are going to have CJ Mosley next year. I like Jamie Sherwood, but unfortunately he only plays one position, and that's CJ's position. So we don't get to see more of him. But it would be nice to get a solid, stable guy at linebacker. I mean, I like Quinnen and I like Quan, but they have these hit and miss type aspects to them. It'd be nice to have a complete linebacker you don't have to live with the mess ups. Just the guy who's going to light people up, runs, sideline to sideline, good in coverage, but lights up the running game. It'd be nice. I'm not going to lie. Even in the 2 losses to me, Mike White outplayed both Cousins and Allen. We just came up a little short. Yeah, we came up a little short. I mean, look, I mean, Mike White did everything, even in the Minnesota game, right? With the red zone torture that we went through. At the end of the day, when there was 90 seconds left, that final drive, Mike White did not buckle. He wasn't afraid. He like a man. He brought us down there. The play broke, by the way. That fourth down play was a broken play. Berrios, like to make up a little bit for the drop, that you could at least appreciate that Berrios actually went off script. He saw that his routes were not open, so he cut earlier into the front of the end zone like that, because that was the only space he saw that there was any chance of being open. And Mike White and Berrios had a very nice connection, like a mental connection, because White felt that he was going to do that. So here's a quarterback who felt his receiver coming off of his route and saw the space and threw the ball into the space. And in comes Berrios. It's in his shoulders. Not perfect, like 6 inches off, but amazing from Mike White. Amazing. In all the things that's going on, in the pressure of 4th and 1, like all the pressure, the speed of the NFL, he felt his receiver was going to go off the route because he saw the space and trusted his receiver was going to hit that space. And he threw the ball into that space. Berrios dropped it. Can't look at the quarterback. Can't talk about the quarterback. Did everything he can. Put us in a situation to win the game. Do I hate Berrios? No. Am I disappointed? Am I for Berrios? Yes. Do I feel bad for him? Yes. Because I like him. And I know that it probably is still bothering him without question. It's still bothering him. Probably, I mean, it showed in his play last week. It showed that he was still bothered if you watch Berrios play. He was still not focused because he's probably trying to do so much to make up for what had happened. Yeah, I have no question we'll straighten out our line. Look, there are great things. Now, there's always going to be injuries because we always act like the next year everything's going to be great. We're getting everybody back. Well, not really. Injuries. But they reoccur, or other guys go down. But there's no way, as excited we are about this year, we could call time out for a second and say, how are we not excited about the prospect of getting AVT and Becton back and Breece Hall back? Like, think of what that's going to do to our offensive line. If Becton comes back in shape and healthy, and you're sticking him at the left tackle position, and then you have, or you could, because Fant will be gone. You put Mitchell back in right tackle. Then you have AVT back at guard. And then hopefully Lakin is a little bit more freaking tolerable and digestible. And then I don't know. I think McGovern's got another year if we bring him back. Maybe we bring him back to a 2-year deal, 1 year guaranteed kind of thing. And then we draft a guy that we could develop. But McGovern overall for the year is playing well enough. He's not showing signs of slowing down. We don't need a new center, but we do need to sign him and not overpay. Yeah. I know you like Streveler. Allen threw a touchdown in round 1, but White was getting killed and played well for a guy getting crushed so bad. Yeah, he played well. Well, he played well for a guy not getting crushed so bad. If you think about it, look at his numbers. He didn't play that bad. How about just played well for a guy who is playing against Buffalo? Compare him to other quarterbacks who played against Buffalo. He put us. He had us in a position to win. Mike White made a fumble. Joe Flacco came in for a play and made a fumble. And C.J. Mosley gave them a free touchdown. So, what can you do? Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Come on. Help a guy out. How is it that Bam was shelved as long as he was? This is a negative on our coaching staff. Well, sometimes it's hard to see. I mean, they liked him in practice. They kept him. We were the team that signed him, right? But we only have so many spots. Sometimes you have to see him in a real game to know. I don't know. I mean, not that I don't agree with you, Rob Power, because it's not like I wasn't screaming for it. I mean, I was screaming for it. But, we're not seeing what they're seeing, so it's hard to know. Maybe they just want the experience, So, I mean, I can't, it's hard to say exactly what was going on, but I'm going to try to, because Adam's having trouble, so I'm going to try to go elsewhere and see if we can get somebody in here. Okay. We'll be right with you guys. We are going to talk about the playoffs and all the different combinations of the playoffs, because we've been too distracted by the quarterback situation to and we've been we've been just ignoring everything else, and it's time to talk about that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's taken care of. The Jets need a punter. Now there's something we could agree with. I am not a fan of Braden Mann. I am not. I think that he makes 3 or 4 good punts. And I think like every 5th or 6th punt, I don't know what it is, but it feels like every 5th time he shanks it and makes an awful punt. And it's funny because Green Bean loves him. And like in the watch party, I'm afraid I'm going to make him mad by saying it because he seems to get really bent out of shape by it. And I don't understand it because we've both been watching for 40 years. And I don't know when in history it's been okay for why any team would ever hold on to a punter where 20% of the time he fails at his job. I've never seen a punter have so many bad punts and keep his job. There's just so many guys out there that can punt the ball 50 yards. There's so many. You can get them out of nowhere. We had a field goal kicker do it last year and was doing better than Braden Mann. I mean, so I just don't. I know he does some good punts. I'm not saying he doesn't come through and make good punts, but you can't have it. You can't have a guy who 1 out of every 5 punts shanks it or makes some lousy, stupid bet out of bounds. He can't punt out of bounds well. He ends up. I just can't. I can't understand it. The Jets seriously need to draft. Well, we need a legit 330-pound nose tackle. Well, we don't really have a nose tackle. You mean another defensive tackle? I am not against another inside tackle, defensive tackle. Not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the mock drafts. I was looking at, and any time in like the 2nd or 3rd round when I saw an inside tackle that was like the highest rated left in the draft, even though I didn't know who they were, I was taking them. So I'm with you. We definitely need an inside guy, but I don't think you have to go 1st round on that. Like, I think if you just want a run-stopping, big, freaking monster defensive tackle, I think you can go 3rd, 4th round even. You can't wait to the 7th like we did with that Marshall guy, who ended up getting picked up, by the way. Thanks for another super chat, Daniel. I appreciate you. If you don't win, I blame you. You should, if you knowingly bet on something that I want to have happen or have bet on worse, then I can't help you. I have never hid the fact that I'm the biggest jinx alive. There's no bigger jinx than me. Okay. So I'm sorry, man. I can't take responsibility. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Tie over Bam. More on the outside. Flacco's backup. The coach. Yeah, there are some things. I guess I can't argue with it. What about Jeff Smith over Mims for so long? I mean, there's some things that are hard to swallow. Like Ty Johnson but then Ty Johnson played really well. So it's, so sometimes it's like, oh, well, but yeah, I don't know how they missed on Bam Bam. Like, how did they have him in practice and not see it? I mean, it looks like he's going to be the number 2 guy next year and a year from now. And if Breece Hall is back, I think Bam Bam might be the number 2 and Carter is going to be number 3. I don't know, because Bam Bam, I know it's a small sample, but my God, he's looking like a really good good running back. I love the 1 cut and run too. That's for real, man. If we had a legit nose tackle, our run defense would be so much better. Yeah, we couldn't hold them all. I'm sure that the part of them wanted Fatukasi. They love guys who can get to the quarterback, but guess what? Then find the guy who can get to the quarterback and stop the run. But we definitely need a big 300-pound beast in the middle there, just plugging things up. Let Quinnen do the dirt, the rushing and stuff like that. I'm so bummed about Laken Tomlinson. I expected a Pro Bowl caliber talent. I know. I thought that was a can't miss. How do you miss on that? You have a guy who's a Pro Bowl level guard who's come coming, who's played for the coaches before. He knows the system inside out. It's the same exact system. You would think that it is the same. You would think that that is the safest signing that we made. And it was my favorite signing. When we signed Lincoln, I was so happy. I was thrilled. I was so happy. I was like, oh, they're taking the offensive line seriously. They understand the importance of the offensive line, and they got the best guy out there, and he knows the system, and we know he's good. And now we're just stuck with him. We're stuck with him. And he had the nerve to go on Twitter and ask us to vote for him into the Pro Bowl. Like he sees us all voting for the rookies and getting them the belts. So he said, oh, maybe they can help get me into the Pro Bowl. It's like, dude, we're not helping you. We're not going to raise your value. No, we want your value to be what it is. We want to renegotiate your salary with you and pay you the right amount. We're not going to help you get more money later on with a Pro Bowl next to your name. No, you didn't earn it. See, that's the thing about Jet fans. We'll vote our rookies. We'll vote for people. We'll support our guys to get things. But Jet fans aren't going to help our player on our team get a Pro Bowl title that they don't deserve. Like, no way, Lakin. Did you think we're happy with you? I mean, we're rooting for you to play better, but we're not going to help you. We're not going to give you bestow any honors on you. You're hurting our team. Wake the hell up and play the way you're capable of playing. Because right now, we just want you out of town. Yeah, I know. Harlan, I didn't want to. I think that he means that. Like, I don't think that he's saying that he has to play nose tackle per se. He wants a nose tackle type. Like he wants a big run plugging guy. I think he understands that we play a 4-3, and that run plugging guy would have to play on the opposite of Q Williams. But that's not a far stretch, right? I mean, it's not that big of a deal if they're in there on first and second down specifically for run. It doesn't matter if you're lined up under the center or not. I mean, those big run-stopping guys should be able to line up anyway. At least that's what I think. All right. No, Mappy says no talking about the Viking game, so we won't. I'm not saying White is Brady, but he also threw 4 picks. You're not saying he's white as Brady, but let's compare him to Brady. Yeah, look, Mike White. We're going to root for Mike White. As long as he's under center, we're going to root for him. And if he turns out that he's great somehow and everybody in the world is wrong, so be it. If he turns out that he's just sufficient until Zach is ready or until, he's a bridge to something else, if it's not Zach, then that's fine too. But I just think it's really hard to sum a guy up and to completely label him and know what we have. But it's okay to hope. It's okay to hope that he ends up being a great quarterback. It's not impossible. Everyone's acting like it's impossible. And I don't understand that because if you look at history, it's happened before where guys that are not supposed to be good quarterbacks end up being good quarterbacks. Unfortunately, Brady's the biggest example. So then everybody gets on people because you're comparing, you're going to compare him to the greatest ever play. It's like, no, I'm just making a point that Brady wasn't supposed to be, turned out to be good. Give me a better example and I'll use it. And I'm sure some of you will, because there probably are examples out there of guys that weren't supposed to be great quarterbacks and they came out and they were very good quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, when was he drafted? Like 4th, 5th round? And who was Russell Wilson? Shocked the world when he won that job. So there you go. I mean, there are guys that are not predicted to do it, and then they end up doing it. That's just a mass protect to help Mark White on passing downs going to the game on Sunday. Cool. Look, they need to protect the hell out of him, but I'm not going to lie. I feel much better that Zach Wilson is dressing. Because if Mike White takes a hit to his ribs or whatever, I want Zach. We have to win this game. And there's still a part of me that believes in Zach Wilson. So, like, I'm just glad Zach will be there. And that we'll have, if Mike White gets hurt, we have Zach, not Joe Flacco. I feel much better with Zach back there than Joe Flacco. Plus, it gives us that outside hope, that opportunity. What if Zach came in and did great? How great would that be? It would just reignite the whole Jets world. Can you imagine if he came in and just balled? How great that would be for our fan base. No, actually, it would be horrible for our fan base because all it would do is start fights, but it'd be great for the team. It'd be great for the team. Not worried about the playoffs. You guaranteed 4 straight wins. Raw, you putting it on me now? I honestly believe we're going to run the table. You know, and I'm not just saying it as words. I mean, like part of it might be fandom. Part of it might be fandom and wanting to pump everybody up. Part of it is bravado. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the way we played Minnesota and Buffalo. I'm feeling good the way we played against those teams on the road. I feel like we could have won either of those games, if not both of them. I feel like we're for real. I think we're more for real than Detroit is for real. I do. I think Detroit is tough. I'm not going to underestimate them. I love the matchup. I love the way we match up against them. Why? Because good offenses can be shut down by good defenses, which is what we have. We shut down Josh Allen twice. Why can't we shut down Goff? And then defensively, they're weak, so we can score on them. So I like, I like the matchup. Question to help the stream before the NyQuil takes me. The Lions be a weak team. Oh no, you took NyQuil. You can't come on. I wanted Tigo to come on, guys, but he can't. It's weird. I used to have people lining up to be on this show, and nobody wants to come on. All right, Tigo, we'll get to that question. Thanks for having it. Let me see if we can get somebody else here. Harrison. Let's see. He might even be sleeping. He's a teacher. He's not the kind of guy that would be available. But anyway, let's see. I don't need anybody. You guys are doing a great job asking me questions. Adam's not even answering his text. It's like he doesn't even get phone signal. Speaking of Braden Mann, you think someone, maybe us or the Bills, makes a run at punt god now that he's cleared of charges? I thought about that. Now that he's cleared of the charges, but it's not just clear to the charges. It is Saleh has to be convinced that he really is completely innocent and was falsely accused. Like, it's not about just is he really truly in trouble or not. It's is he a good person or not? Because we care about character. But if he's a good dude and they have evidence and believe he's a good dude, I'll welcome that guy in, man. What does he punt 80 yards? Because you think we'll get on the Hard Knocks next year? We're eligible. One of the very few teams that are eligible. Personally, I think One Jets Drive is better than Hard Knocks in some ways. Hard Knocks would be cool. It would be cool because it's less power of the organization to do the editing. So, it's different because they can't get them to undo things. Like if they get mad and say something, they have to deal with it being on HBO. But I know a lot of people like to come up and be the ones to say, I don't want to be on Hard Knocks. If I say that, I'm lying. I like the show Hard Knocks. My wife likes it. It's one of the few, it's always fun when there's a football type thing that my wife likes. So I don't have to watch, fight to watch it. So it would be really cool. I loved it when Rex was on. I loved it when the Jets were on on Hard Knocks. I wouldn't mind seeing Saleh on Hard Knocks and seeing the coaching staff and getting to know, can you imagine how awesome it would be to Sauce? That's all you have to do. Say Sauce. Can you imagine Sauce on Hard Knocks? I mean, the kid is the best. He's the greatest. He's he's so funny. So Sauce would be great. The comeback of Breece Hall would be cool. They would feature that, the working out and everything. So that would be cool. AVT coming back. They could feature a lot of that. He's so good. He's not like as magnetic like on the screen. AVT, I like him, but he's not a guy like Sauce. Sauce, Garrett Wilson. These are guys I want to see if they were on Hard Knocks. I want to see those stories. And then, of course, we're a team that's hard to make our team. So it'd be fun to watch a guy like Ty Johnson now having to fight for a spot because we have Bam. And then we, Breece and is there going to be room for a Ty Johnson? Although Brees Hall might not be ready to start the year, so we'll find out. So that would be interesting. And then watching a safety battle, because I don't know if these are going to be our two starting safeties next year. I mean, obviously, Whitehead is going to be because we're paying him, but LaMarcus Joyner might not be the safety. So, and we might try to get a replacement for LaMarcus Joyner, maybe, but also we might have to get a rotating guy with Whitehead, because to be honest with you, Whitehead is an awful passing down safety. He is proving to be really bad. He's excellent on running downs, which is exactly why Tampa Bay took him out in passing situations, which he didn't like. He said that he wasn't too happy at Tampa. They took him out in passing situations. Well, we know why, because he's not good in passing situations. We now have 27th worst first half offense in the league and the worst short yardage rate in the NFL. How does LaFleur have a job? Well, he has a job because it's only his second year, and we're still much better than we were last year, and our offensive line is battered. And people say, oh, no excuses, but it is an excuse. When you've went through 5 or 6 tackles, it's an excuse. When your best guard is hurt, it's an excuse. You know, I mean, like, these are real things. And do I think he's safe forever? No. I mean, Beth, I understand. I honestly, Beth Page, I think that if this year ends like this and there's no more, and that's it, there's no improvement, we don't make the playoffs, or we make the playoffs, but the offense is still the problem, I think next year he's on the hot seat. I think it's his last chance. But I know that's frustrating, but I do think he'll be on the hot seat next year. I do, if he doesn't show improvement right away. Especially if Becton was to come back, if AVT was to come back, if Mitchell is healthy, and we're on full cylinders with our offensive line, and Brees Hall comes back, and we're still having this problem, then yeah, he's very much on the hot seat. But he wasn't on the hot seat when Brees Hall was playing. So, but Bam Bam is good, and he should be able to do better. But I would say next year he'll be on the hot seat if we don't improve. I mean, there's a limit. There's a limit to how, especially with this offense. Because it's not supposed to take a third year. You better show mass improvement in a West Coast offense. Otherwise, you're not the right guy to run it. I'm the most underrated YouTuber. Thanks, man. That's so nice of you to say that. Wish I could meet everybody in person sometimes. It's like, who's saying this about me? Really? I'm like desperate to get somebody on here. I'm like, please, somebody. And he's saying I'm good. Wacky Wednesday show is not supposed to be one person. I guess Adam is really struggling, and for some reason, nobody is available. I just can't believe it. Like, nobody. Usually, everybody's asking to be on. Like, Situation Report is just missing in action. He's not even answering me. Buffalo's missing in action. I don't see him in the chat. Let me just, you know what? I'm just going to send it to the whole group. What is this? Oh, no. Don't tell me it's not going to work. Oh, one sec, guys. One sec. Sorry for the delay. Just trying to get you some better entertainment than just me. Okay. Copy link. All right. Last attempt. Otherwise, it's just me tonight for the whole night. Plunkett failed with 2 teams, Pats and 49ers, before leading the Raiders to the Super Bowl. Well, if that's a Zach kind of thing, yeah, I know Tico's sick. Dom C disappeared, so I'm worried about him. I hope everything is okay. Because he wanted to be on tonight, I thought, and then he just disappeared. I think Mike White can develop to be number 12, 18 overall quarterback, so slightly above average to average, which is still enough to win games with our playmakers. Look, if Zach Wilson, if Mike White, if Mike White or Zach Wilson, how about that? If Mike White or Zach Wilson, if either one of them was able to develop and be a 12 to 18, so like the 15th best quarterback in the NFL, we do not need more than that. We're done. We could win Super Bowls. because this offense specifically does not require a superstar quarterback. Example, San Francisco Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, right? It doesn't need an elite quarterback. When when you say number 12 to number 18, when you say, which is basically number 15, when you say that, that's a good quarterback. You put a really, we get good, solid quarterback play on this team with the talent that we have on it. Yeah, you better believe we're good to go. That's fine. The question is, can either of our quarterbacks get to that level? And I hope to God the answer is yes. And it would be better for our organization if it was Zach, only because we already paying him. We don't have to pay any more money, whereas Mike White could be very expensive. Question to help the stream before NyQuil takes me. With the Lions be a weak team, and the same goes for the Jags, should we rest Mike White for the playoffs so we don't get a bigger rib injury? It's interesting. That's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. First of all, I don't think the Lions are a weak team, and I don't think the Jaguars are a weak team. That's the problem. These games mean too much, and they're not weak teams. There's very little weak teams left in the NFL. It's hard to win in the NFL, and these are not weak teams. Detroit has been playing very well. They just pounded the Vikings. They've been playing great. Their offense is dangerous. They got a ton of weapons. They fight hard. And then Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence is like starting to emerge. He's looking really good. And they got some talent on that team. So even if we did, here's the complicated part, Tigo, because if it was Zach Wilson, right, and he never got benched and he was playing fine and getting better and everything was normal and good in the world, and Zach Wilson had bruised ribs, you can ask that question. Do we sit him and let him heal? And let's try to go with Mike White. The problem, I think, to this, the complication is, the perception will be is that, like, if we take Mike White out and then Zach plays good, and then Mike White doesn't get his job back, the message to the locker room, it might not go over well. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying it's complicated. It could add complications. Yeah. Look. I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't get on you. I can't blame people for being frustrated with Mike LaFleur, but I do think there were things that he did right. I think there's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, what he did in the 20-yard line every time he got there sucked, but a lot of times he has us driving. He's had good plays. He's had good moments. But you're right. The overall production's got to get better. At least he says it. At least he's not acting like, that he's great or anything, or saying. At least he comes out and he always says, "I've got to do better." So it would bother me a lot more if he didn't. You know what I mean? It would bother me a lot more if he didn't, every time he spoke, didn't say, "I need to get better." Yeah, we didn't even talk about playoffs. So here's the deal. Everybody's out of their minds, okay? And this is what I mean. The New England Patriots are not running the table. The Chargers are not running the table. There's a reason they have the records they have. They're going to struggle through the rest of the year. The reality is 10 wins probably gets us in, especially if one of those 3 wins to get to 10 wins happens against Miami. Because if we win 2 out of 3, I guarantee you that Miami game is to get into the playoffs. There's a chance that we might need help, and we don't want that. We want it to be a win and you're in situation. So, Nicholas Falzone, or should I say Nikolai, recipient of many chokeslams, and Nya. I would say that I think we're going into the playoffs because I think we're running the table, but I also think that he put dummy in. That's great. I think we're running the table. I think if we win 3 out of 4 and beat Miami as one of those 3, I think we're in that situation too. I really do. Even though it's not definite, I believe that's going to be what happens, and I believe that we can do it. I believe we can beat every team that's left on our schedule. I really do. But I know that turnovers happen and injuries happen, and we can't. And that's a long way to go 4 games without something going wrong, especially when it's the Jets. But I know that we're perfectly capable of winning each and every game that's left on our schedule, especially with Miami was the one that for all year I didn't think we could win. And now in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, wow, they're really struggling. Like there's a blueprint on how to beat Miami now. Now, the only problem is I don't know if we fit that blueprint, because the blueprint to beat Miami is to jam up their receivers. And we all know that our defense is not built like that. We play a lot of zone. And a lot of times our guys get frustrated because we don't jam and pressure enough. But that's what San Francisco did, and that's what teams have been doing. The Chargers, that's what they've been doing. They've been jamming up Hill and Waddle on the line of scrimmage. So I don't know. We'll see if we're willing to make an adjustment. Thanks, K. Haas. That's how he says my name. K. Hoos. We want Streveler ASAP. Bring back Tebow. Dummy. Ha ha. I love the dummy part. I don't understand it. Like the whole comma, dummy, like the whole thing is funny. Like and it's consistent. No matter what channel he's on, it's consistent. So I respect the consistency. Twisted says 10-7 gets us there 85% as long as the Pats lose 2 of these games, which is the likely scenario, is that the Pats will lose. But it is the Pats, so we never know for sure. And there's a chance the Chargers will collapse. I don't care. There's a chance. I've been drinking this thing since I got home from work. It's ridiculous. It never ends. It's the endless Coke. 99 cents at McDonald's. Oh, you're comparing Mike to his brother, huh? He's not his brother. Very few people are their brother. So, Grandizer wants to tell everybody that Buffalo's remaining schedule is Miami, Chicago, Cincinnati, New England. And that's the key thing. New England, they've got to play Buffalo. Let's hope Buffalo comes out and crushes them. What's in the endless Coke? It's just a Coke. It's just from McDonald's. It's just a large. And no matter, I feel like I just not finishing it. So it's just like it's still there. For hours, I've been sucking it down, and it's still there. I don't know what's going on. It's the endless Coke. But what year was it when we went 11-5 and missed the playoffs? Tearjerker. That was 2000. Are you talking about 2015? When we lost the game to Buffalo at the end? Did we get 11 wins? Or that was 2009? I don't know, man. It's all blended to me. It's all blended. It's weird because the 2009, 2010, which was supposed to be the best years, right, for any Jets fan, was the years my wife got sick. So it kind of ruined the whole thing for me. I don't have much of a memory about it. If you want to know what happened with my wife and me, you could buy the book In Sickness and in Health. Just go onto Amazon and type Jeremy Cravat, and you'll see a book In Sickness and in Health. It's really cheap if you have a Kindle. And that'll answer all your questions of why it was hard to pay attention to the Jets those couple of years. What does Nikolai want? He's saying Mike LaFleur, third down convo. Not having your young quarterback try and force a mid to deep pass on a defense that is most likely sitting back in coverage is a safe approach. Lean on the defense. Live to see another drive. Okay. Yeah, look, a lot of his checkdowns are fine. When we look at the all-22, and Nick knows this stuff, guys, because he was a quarterback, college quarterback, so he knows. If you look at the all-22, which Dom C came on and did for us, he is not just checking it down. He's looking first. And you have to understand, they're sitting back. They're making it hard for there to be any openings. So Mike White is, a lot of those third downs where he's checking it down he's not doing anything wrong. He sees the alignment. He might rule out one receiver or one area of the field just based on the alignment. and then he snaps the ball. He looks to the other place. Nothing's cooking. Check it down. It's what he's being coached to do. His coaches are not upset with him about it. So you got to be mad at the coaches. If the coaches are telling him, you did fine, that's what we wanted you to do, then you cannot be mad at him. Think about it. If your coach is telling you, yes, you want to play, you want a job, right? You're not going to defy your coach. So if you have a problem with his checkdowns, be mad at LaFleur. Be mad at Saleh. Be mad at the staff. Because Mike White is doing what they're telling him to do. They're praising him for it. He is literally eliminating a receiver based on what he's seeing right before the snap, which is great that he's smart enough to see it. He sees who they're stacking. He sees the field. He's reading the defense. So he's ruling out that part of the field. The ball gets snapped. He's looking to what's left. If it's not there, you check it down. You don't force the ball. That's how you get the interceptions. If you force it, you get the interceptions. And then you hate his guts for that. But if the all-22 shows that guys are open, and I'm not talking about guys that are open after he checks it down or guys that are open when it's too late because he already looked their way and he's following the progressions of the play that was called. I'm talking about sometimes you could see right from the bat the guy was open. Why didn't he go to him? And that's fine. And that happens to every quarterback in the NFL. Every quarterback in college football, the NFL, high school, every quarterback ever does not always see the open guy every single play. So we have to stop pretending that they do. They don't. Now, if he's doing it every play and he's never finding the open guy, fine. But we know that's not happening. Streveler's doing well. I mean, Streveler. Mike White's doing well. He's looking. He's finding open receivers. Sometimes he checks it down. Sometimes he checks it down when he could have hit an open guy for a touchdown. Just like Zach. Just like every other quarterback that's ever played football. But, again, so many people want to judge quarterbacks before we look at the film. And it doesn't make sense because you can't see the game. I hate it when during the game people are saying Elijah was wide open. You don't know that. I'm watching the same thing. They didn't show Elijah. You're watching him after the play. You don't know if the guy – it's so stupid. There's something called All-22 if you're really interested. It's like $79 whole season. Or you can watch Joe Blewett. You can watch Kurt Warner sometimes just breakdowns on our quarterbacks. You can watch right here when Dom C comes on Wednesdays. We break it down. Just request it. Say, I'd love for you to break it down. I think that, I'd love to see those plays. And we played some of those plays, and we discovered that Mike White did miss a couple of receivers where we felt that there was time. He could have stayed patient in the pocket. There was also a lot of checkdowns where he did the right thing. And these were checkdowns where he did what was yelled at. Like we were blaming him and acting like he's checked down. It's his fault. And then we played it back on the All-22, and it was not his fault. He did everything he was supposed to do. So we got to be, like everybody wants to blame right away. We don't have to attack players and blame them right away. Like it's okay to be patient a couple of days and say, we're going to have to look at the film and see what really happened. And let me tell you something. That's why Saleh after the game, and anybody who's ever played football will tell you that. They don't always jump to make conclusions post-game. Even during the game, they're looking at iPads and stuff, trying to figure it out. Because it's not always so obvious. Like we're not the ones that understand the play. We don't know what was supposed to happen. You don't know. There could be a play that looks like the quarterback did a bad job, but they did a great job and saved us a catastrophe. So we have to stop pretending that we know. Just be patient. But when a quarterback drops back and throws the ball into the defender's arms, well, then we know that they pretty much did a dumb thing. You don't have to watch the tape. Very rarely will the tape free them of that guilt. Now, it would help to have it was very good if you had a good quarterback, like a guy, an Italian guy. His dad knows how to make pizza. Grew up in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? You had to stick a pipe in your mouth to breathe every night before bed, and then somehow you end up being an athlete and play college football. That's what you need. We need that kind of quarterback. But he's not interested in playing in the NFL. No blaming, no complaining, no excuses. It's not an excuse though. If he's doing the right thing, it's not an excuse. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to make excuses. If he's running the play the way it's supposed to be run, then there's no need to even make an excuse. He's like, I don't care what the fans think, just because the fans don't know what's happening. Nobody owes the fans an apology. I did what I was supposed to do. I read the defense properly. My guy was covered. The film shows he was covered. I checked the ball off. There's no excuses needed. Did what he was supposed to do. We're pissed at home because we didn't get the first down. We might be pissed off because we didn't get the first down, but it's like it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't impact whether the quarterback did the right thing or not. But my excuse for the Jets is it's not like I don't go into Detroit saying, well, it doesn't really count if we lose because we don't have Breece Hall and we don't have AVT. Q Williams might be out, so it doesn't really count. No, everybody has injuries. No excuses. We go in there. We play with the men we have, and we either we lose and we accept ownership. We own that loss, or we win and we own the win. And that's that. But that's why Jet fans got to stop taking away from our wins. Well, the other team didn't have their quarterback, or we got to stop that. Can we just enjoy when we win? You know what I mean? Can we just enjoy when we win? Can we stop finding excuses not to be happy when we win? Can we go back to the old Herm Edwards explanation of we play to win the game? Can we just do that? Can we just be happy? If we beat Detroit, we'll be happy we beat Detroit. I don't want to hear about the this, that. No. Wins are wins are wins are wins. And you know what's funny is I think that the Miami thing about how we played against the backup and that's why we beat Miami, I don't know about that. We seem to slow down quarterbacks. I don't know if it would have mattered if it was Tua. I don't know. I think we're going to prove it week 17. I don't know that we can't shut down Tua. We shut down Josh Allen. Why can't we shut down Tua? So I don't know. I don't know that it's because they had their third string quarterback in. If Tua was in that game against Miami, maybe we stop him the way San Francisco stopped him. I'm not saying definitely we would have, but I'm sick of. I don't care. It's like yeah, Miami had an injury. We have injuries. Buffalo has injuries. Everybody has injuries. It doesn't matter. The game is played, and whoever wins, wins, and whoever loses, loses. You know, and that's it. And we have to have that mentality. Because what are we going to do? Make excuses for every year for the next 50 years? We're Jet fans. We know our guys are going to get hurt. We know we're going to have to endure injuries. We know that when we build this team, JD must know when he builds the team, this is the Jets, buddy. You're going to have to go extra deep on every position. You're going to have to be magical and find guys like Max Mitchell and do that for every position. Because this organization, we get injuries. And excuses don't get us rings. So we just better find the players that can come in and do it. You handsome devil, you. Not nearly as handsome as you. Not nearly. Too bad you're sick, man. It'd be nice to have you on right now. It's been too long. I don't know why Adam doesn't try to get back on again. My God, he tried 2 times in the beginning of the show and gave up. Who is your ideal quarterback going into next season? Lamar, Rodgers, stick with White, or Wilson? Wow. I think it depends. I mean, if Zach doesn't get a chance to play again, that's bad because we don't know. I don't think either way. I mean, what happened was we got too good too fast, and now we have a problem because Zach's not ready, right? So we're in an interesting situation because what do? We can't waste the window. We have this window of having a good defense and having a good team, and windows like that don't last forever. We're hoping that it will last for, and this is real and it'll be sustained. But you can't throw away seasons waiting, right? And what if he doesn't work out? We're going to waste the season, then have to replace him. So if Mike White leads us to the playoffs and wins the game in the playoffs, I think he's the guy with Zach competing with him. And I think we're okay. And we get rid of, and Joe Flacco's gone, and maybe we sign a replacement for Flacco that's a little better than most teams would. We invest a little bit more than most teams would. And maybe get a guy like Huntley from Baltimore as a free agent. We've talked about Minshew from Philly. Maybe bring in a guy that could realistically also do what Mike White has been doing lately, like be competent and give your team a chance to win. It's a tough situation. We're definitely not getting Lamar or Rodgers or anything like that. Like, I don't think we're going for a big money guy because it just, then what are we going to do? Not sign let Quinnen Williams go? Like, we can't do, it never worked for the Jets. It's never worked. Like Aaron Rodgers, like that's the Brett Favre thing all over again. It never worked. That guy is showing no passion. He's showing no interest in playing in the NFL. I do not trust Aaron Rodgers at all. He might be done. Remember his age. Normally, and it's very common, people that age retire. Their careers ends. Everybody keeps insisting like, oh no, but it's Aaron Rodgers. It's like it's because he's not motivated. Maybe it's just because he's old and he's not good anymore. Like he's not as good. So I don't want an out of his prime aging guy that we're gonna have to pay, tons and tons of money to. I don't know how. I mean, Rodgers right now is set to make $50 million, and Green Bay can't cut him because it's a $99 million dead cap hit. $99 million in dead cap next year if Green Bay cuts him. They cannot cut him. So now we're talking about what? Trade for him? Trade for the right to overpay this guy $50 million? It's just not going to work. And then Lamar wants 50 guaranteed for 7 years. He wants like 7 years of $50 million or whatever it is. You can't do that. Can't do it. It's not the way a Joe Douglas team works. Like he's built the way Baltimore's built, the way Philadelphia is built. Those teams don't do what they do by paying guys ridiculous amounts of money. That's why Baltimore hasn't signed Lamar, because they don't know if they're willing. They don't know. They're not willing to just throw the bank at him. So I mean, what would the Jets do? How would we do it? We would have to cut every free agent. We have to re-sign no one. Everybody goes. Quinnen stays on his option. Everybody else would have to go. How would you pay Lamar $50 million? Like, how would you do it? He wants $50 million guaranteed long term. There's no way to push that off. And if you push it off, how are we going to sign Garrett Wilson? How are we going to Joe Douglas will not do that. So it's just not an option. You know what our option is? Zach Wilson. Like, we have to develop Zach Wilson. We gambled everything. We've designed everything for Zach Wilson to be the guy. It has to be Zach Wilson. We have to find a way. The kid has the talent. We have to find a way to bring out his talent. Anyway, I've been waiting to do this all night. Even if he stays for a minute, I've been waiting to do this all night. Okay, we can't have a wacky Wednesday show without an introduction. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has been knocked down, but he will rise again. This man, I'm watching him drink water out of a gallon-sized container. That's when you know you are sick. This man is wearing fatigues and hats. This man wants to be sleeping right now, but couldn't stand to watch me alone a minute longer. He's not here for himself. He's here because he loves me. And that is enough to make me love him for the rest of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the outspoken, the Facebook-loving, the Twitter-tweeting, the jet-loving, tailgate Taylor ham and egg and cheese eating, but he calls it pork roll, egg and cheese, golfing at top and drinking beer and greatest father and guest in the world.
What's up, buddy? If the setup is bad, I'm sorry, dude. I don't even have the energy to move the laptop and set everything up. I have the phone sideways, leaning against a candle to prop it up.
We're glad you're alive. Did you say any? You said something about COVID.
I think I have it. I go Friday. I'm having, for those that don't know, I ruptured my ACL, and I'm having surgery next Thursday. And part of the pre-surgery process, 6 days before, you have to go for a COVID test, EKG, blood work. So everything is set up for Friday, and I'm hoping I kick this, because if I made them give me the surgery next Thursday, it was that or wait till like January 12th. I'm like, I gotta get back to work. I don't want to wait another month.
Right. Oh my God.
So,
but it's I heard that there's more cases of the flu than there is COVID. Like statistically, there's a better chance you have just the regular flu, which is an ass kicker. Like I heard it's kicking people's ass.
My ass is kicked. Like I'm napping 3-4 hours at a clip, like throughout the day. Like I'll wake up, I'll hydrate, I'll check in with you guys and the text, and then I'm like, all right, I'm back out. Like today I slept from 12 to 3, and then I was back out from like 7:30 to 10:15. And today was my daughter's birthday. I was supposed to go there. I'm like, baby, I'm sorry. I came there this weekend. I'll make it up to you this weekend, but I don't want to get you sick again with Christmas and everything coming up.
Wow. This is such a bummer, man. Like when you get this shit thrown at you, man. It's like you got this.
I would take a throw. I get Hiroshima, dude. I would love somebody just to throw some shit at me. I get the nuke dropped on me.
You get this Amazon job. You're allowed to work as many hours as you want. You finally have this option where you can make money when you need it. And what happens? You blow your Achilles? What? Like what?
ACL.
I mean, what?
Ruptured ACL, torn PCL, and then 2 meniscus tears. And the doctor says to me,
every single injury you can have.
Yes. But he says to me, I'm like, dude, I'm 44. We don't have to do the whole knee. I'm like, I just need to be able to walk through stairs, carry shit. I'm like, without the knee buckling and giving out. Can just whatever. He goes, we'll just do the ACL. He goes, you're 44. He's like, I don't need to worry about getting you back on a sporting field and you're not doing things like that. He goes, we just got to get you some stability to grow old with.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing it's like 4 to 5 months before some normalcy returns, but it's me. It's never much normalcy.
Yeah. A lot of people are sick. It sucks.
How are you?
About the same old Jets. It's not going to be the same old Jets. We're not having that conversation. You know what's funny is like you got to admit we always go to that dark place when we lose, and then we always get healed when we win. Like when we're winning, we're saying it's different. This is great, and then when we lose, we go right back to it's the Jets and we suck. I mean, we just need to win the next couple of games. If we win, especially because we play one so soon after the other. Like if we beat Detroit and then 4 days later beat Jacksonville, we're gonna be like flying high, right? We'll be back to being what will we be? We'll be 9-6.
And it'd be great to put the pressure on other teams. If we win Sunday and then we get the head start on them for Christmas weekend by playing on Thursday,
pressure on
and we go back to back in 4 days, we put the pressure on the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Patriots. Yes. Yeah, well, my surgery is actually on the 22nd, the day of the Jaguars game, and they squeezed me in, so I don't know if I'm going to be a 5-6 p.m. surgery that day. I doubt I'm going to be first in the morning because they forced me in, so that game may be up in the air. I may be a little too knocked out for that one.
So we might literally have to, I'll be you're going to have your phone's going to be freaking exploding. Because first of all, we're all worried about you. We're all going to be worried about you.
Yeah.
Are you okay? By the way, the Jets are up 10-0. Are you, how you doing? By the way, Mike White just threw an interception and he sucks, and we're bringing in Zach Wilson. You have like a million texts telling you what's going on.
Since I live by myself, and with the surgery, I've talked to my ex-wife, and it looks like she's going to let me stay there, so I have the kids to help me out for the first like winter break is like it's a perfect time. Everyone's like, "Why are you having surgery before Christmas?" I go, I live alone. I go, I'd have the kids home for winter break to help me because like there's no weight bearing for like there's very little weight bearing 7 to 10 days, but I'm gonna be not in a good situation. What's up, Green Bean? How you doing, pal?
Well, he's good enough to be out there. I was an hour and 15 minutes dying out here by myself. Where was Green Bean then? Look, I blame Green Bean for everything. When things go wrong, I'm like, "Where's Green Bean?"
It's obvious. It's his fault.
Green Bean messed me up.
I had to bite the bullet.
Channel.
Nobody else likes you. I had to bite the bullet and join. We have a side chat that you're not in, and they're like, "Nick, it's your turn to go hang with him. We're all checked out."
You deal with him. Well, I've been difficult to deal with lately, admittedly. I've like lost my shit. I just don't have no patience, and like suddenly I think my opinion is fact, and I've been like screaming and cursing everyone who disagrees with me. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Maybe it's the 2 losses.
I haven't noticed. I haven't noticed that.
I'm like cursing people out. Like people just write something nasty. Like people, I don't like your video, Jeremy, or they write a comment I don't like on one of my videos, and I'll be like, you must have had the most awful mother for raising you. Like that's my reply.
Oh, you're going me. You're going my style. You go for the jugular. It's 0 to 60 very quickly with me. I get it.
Green Bean is in Raven country. Well, they're insignificant to us in the playoffs at this point. Like unless we play them, we don't care. Like this, they don't impact us, our playoff run. But yeah, Green Bean's doing the whole family thing. Hey, Green Bean, is it your birthday? Happy birthday, man.
Is it? Happy birthday, pal. Birthday. God bless, man. Many more.
Or it's tomorrow, I think. I think it might be tomorrow.
My daughter's birthday is today. That'd be cool if they had the same one.
Yeah. Look, he's talking crap about me in the chat. Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
I'm doing it on air, so
I got this guy saying. That's not nice. I don't need the bean. I need the bean because the bean is such a good friend. My life would be empty without him. No, seriously, think about it. The amount of times that we chat with each other, like in our Twitter group, and the amount that I text Green Bean, like if you just took that away, like what would the F would I do? I don't know what I used to do with my life. Like I don't know. I don't know what I would do with my life. Like really, I don't know. It'd be messed up. Like when I'm frustrated with the channel, who do I text? I text Green Bean. I'm like, is it normal to go 3 days without a new subscriber? What's going on, Green Bean? And he's like, I don't know. Leave me alone, you bald. Try getting some talent. That's what he'll say. Like, try making a video that's just a little bit interesting.
You got a good thing going, man. You know that.
It's going well. I mean, like I said, I will say it forever. I learned it from Howard Stern. Never has someone done so much with so little.
That's what she said.
That's Howard Stern's greatest thing. I used to love it. Like he would be like, because it's all he did was make fun of himself because it's so ridiculous. I'm this nerdy, geeky, uncomfortable, anxious guy that just started talking honestly about everything that was in my ridiculous, perverted brain, and I got famous because of it.
His unique skill though too is finding the right people to put around him and compliment him, which I think you've done a fantastic job of too with all the guests and co-hosts you bring in.
That's actually a good point because because right away he found Robin. Like he knew right away what a great balance to him, right?
Yeah.
And then and then
Adam is your Baba Booey.
I don't know if I like that.
The Met fan, the nervous Met fan. So Adam's definitely Baba Booey.
It's impossible not to name him the Baba Booey, but it's just impossible. It's like, I'm sorry.
Dom is Fred.
Yeah, because Dom is the smart one.
Yeah, Dom is Fred.
The smart one. Yeah, Dom is Fred. That's
I'm Artie, the big loud mouth.
Oh, you're definitely Artie.
I'm definitely Artie.
You're definitely Artie. You're fucking. You're basically your whole thing is a shit show, just like Artie. Like everything in your life is
all right, man. I'm going back to bed.
No, everything in your life is shit. So yeah, you gotta be Artie. I'm trying to think. It's like, who's my Robin?
I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but I would say Green Bean because
He's not.
if you wait, hear me out.
I'm his
Because
Robin.
Howard always went to Robin for logic, advice, insight, and you just said yourself that's where you go. It's not a dig at Green Bean,
Yeah.
but just the mental connection. I would
Yeah.
say 100%. That's someone who's been with you from the beginning, has always given you advice, insight, help that you go to when, like you just said, when you're nervous.
Right, but when you jump into Green Bean's world and he's Howard Stern, then
Correct.
I'm Gary.
Yeah. It's different role
Gary.
reversal from show
Definitely
to show.
Gary, and Frankie's his Robin. Without question, Frankie from Flatbush is his Robin. Right, that's his neutral voice, the calm voice. Like I think, and then like Adam, the trivia guy, that would be, I guess, like either Sal or Richard. I'm trying to think.
We can't.
I can't believe we're doing
now we'd be insulting people if we called them Sal and Richard.
Sal the stockbroker. Yeah, that's true.
So what's up? I got like 10-15 minutes before I'm back down. Let's hit some Jets info.
So honestly, I know you've been down. You're not happy with the losing and stuff, but all honestly, gun to your head, do you think the Jets are going to make in the playoffs?
They need a lot of help. Losing last week while the Chargers and Patriots both won was worst case scenario, right? So it was nice when we controlled our own destiny. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty freaking cool, man.
Greeny got stories, man. Greeny knows all the guys. I mean, he's
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I am concerned. The concerns I have: 1 touchdown each of the last 2 games is not good enough. The slow starts, 6 points against Minnesota in the first half, not good enough. Only 10 offensive points against Buffalo, not good enough. I know we're getting yardage, and everyone's quoting the yardage. We're moving the ball. A lot of that is later in the game. Like Minnesota called off the dogs, and we're just playing prevent, and we were able to put like some long drives together in the second half. We didn't convert them into touchdowns, which hurts. I would really like to see LaFleur scrap this shotgun running back next to you and just come across the front. You do that when you have a run pass option or the keeper option. Mike White is not a threat to keep the ball, so everyone's flowing right to the running back.
Wow.
Say hello to your boy for me. Bean, I will, man. Thank you. Very kind of you.
Yeah. Night, Bean.
Be good, brother. Safe travels, man. I want to see more with Bam Knight, especially. Put in a tight end or 2. Spread out the receivers. Stop this bunch shit, because when you bunch up your offense and you're trying to run the ball, what are you doing? You're also bunching up the defense. You're letting them get that gang mentality where it's easier to attack run gaps. Spread them out 3 wide. Check the tight end in. Quarterback under center. Run some power football. Bam Knight can hit a hole quick. He gets hit. He still keeps going forward. Let's get some traditional run games in. And can we stop Mike White, who is not Aaron Rodgers? He's not Tom Brady. He is not a guy that I want to see with 5 wide receivers in a shotgun telling the entire defense we're throwing the ball. I want to freeze the linebackers with play action. If you're under center more, you run a couple times with Bam Knight. Now you do that lineup or that setup formation. You fake a little handoff. You got play action. Now you got Conklin open outside. Doing this 5 wide with Conklin as one of the guys out wide, or CJ Uzomah. We ran a CJ Uzomah 7-yard hitch last week in a 5 wide on 3rd down. What the fuck is that? Let CJ get in the backfield if you're not blocking, and let him be the running back and at least step up and block if somebody comes untouched. I'd rather CJ cracking somebody than Michael Carter cracking somebody, you know?
Yeah, I definitely have been very, very frustrated with Mike LaFleur in the red zone. And it's like, I'm not saying this to defend him because I'm a lover of anybody wearing the uniforms. I don't have favorites. I'm not picking favorites in this. But when we're not scoring touchdowns in the red zone, I'm not sitting there screaming and frustrated at Mike White. It's not like it's situations where I'm like, this guy stinks, he can't get it done. I'm mad at Mike LaFleur. And I'm not saying that I mean, because I'm not sitting here saying Mike White's amazing, because I'm not. He's functional. He's been functional for us, right? I mean, he's been functional. I'm not one of these guys that think he's this great answer or anything, but like, I'm just saying the frustration, because some people are saying, "Oh, well, this is all because of Mike White." No, I'm saying it's LaFleur, like, and I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, it's like my frustration has been Mike LaFleur. Like when we get into the 20-yard line and we do a beautiful job of walking down the field, we get inside the 20, and then he tries some ridiculous throw the ball backwards 5 yards, or run, or like some bullshit trick play, and it kills the whole momentum of the drive. And it drives me nuts.
Too cute would be the phrase, right? He gets too cute. You ran that. It worked in Pittsburgh. You ran the pass back to Zach. It worked. First time we played, was it Buffalo? When Garrett Wilson came around and was faking the throw and lost it, but he recovered it. Was that
brutal play? Yeah, that was Buffalo.
So it could have been catastrophic, right?
That was I think, actually, that was Chicago. I think it was Chicago, and we got away with it that game. Like that game, we got away with that play. But he does that kind of play every game in those situations, and it's driving me absolutely up the wall.
Everybody was killing him for the Minnesota game that we didn't run the ball down at the goal line. If everyone remembers, on second down, we did try to run it with Bam Knight. And what did they do? They run blitzed and hit Bam Knight at the 4-yard line, but he spun out of it and somehow got back up to like the 1.5-yard line.
That's
so
why
the next play they come out, and he's got a run. He's got not a RPO play, but he's got a run call and a pass call. And he saw them with 8 in the box, and he tried to hit Garrett Wilson on the down and out, but Garrett Wilson slips coming out of it. So, I mean, you can't put it all on the play caller, because if you call the play and it works, you look like a genius. If you call the play and a blown coverage, a slip, a fall, a missed pass block, a bad snap, you're going to get the heat for it because the play didn't work. So, the main thing we got to do this week, we got to start with a touchdown. Like, I know it's the cool thing to defer. Let's go down the field, put a touchdown on. Let's get a lead. Let's stop 7-3 being down, 20-6 being down. It's we got to start. We got to find a way to start quicker. And
yeah, definitely.
I want to see Zach ball. Not Zach Wilson, the player, come in, but the play calling. Run the goddamn ball. Control the clock. Use some play action. Get some favorable throws. Stop this 5 wide. Like Mike White's going to beat the world and can beat every coverage. It's not. I don't want to see 44 throws. I want to see 24. I'd rather have 35 runs, 24 passes, and a 20-10 win than try to put up 40 because a guy can throw and pad stats late in the game. I don't want to see that shit. It's not winning football. It's like a 12-year-old playing Madden. I'm just going to throw the ball all the time because it's more fun.
Yeah, look, I agree with that goal line thing, that whole thing with the goal line. If everybody was saying run, right? You just pound it on those 2 plays. We're at the 1.5-yard line. Pound it. Now, if we would have done that, if we would have lined everybody up, bam, pound it in, and we did it 2 plays in a row and didn't get it, they'd be cursing him out and saying he's the worst offensive coordinator in the world. Right?
Yeah. It's Jets fans. Whatever path of disgruntlement we can take, we're going to take, right?
Right. I mean, if basically
if there's a fork in the road that says logic, if you don't disgruntled, we're choosing the disgruntled path.
Right. If you don't score the touchdown, we're going to hate you no matter what plays you call. There's no plays you can call. And if you score the touchdown, we're going to love you for calling it.
And this would be the argument, right? This is what we would have heard. Bam Knight's barely played. Why are you giving him the ball twice? You got Garrett Wilson. Why wouldn't you throw it to him? So whatever path of disgruntlement a Jet fan can take, they're going to find that road. Even if it's a hidden treasure map, they'll find it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just stop getting cute. And I do think it's younger brotheritis. I think he's trying to like impress Salah and his older brother Green Bay. Like he's trying to be like he wants to make it about him. Did you see that beautiful play? He wants to prove his worth instead of just letting his guys just fucking call plays. Like stop getting cute. I don't understand it. I don't understand pitching the ball back and having a wide receiver run 5-7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, doing a play option in the NFL. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And what didn't make sense is we had just walked down the field. Like we had all the momentum. And he did it 3 consecutive drives in a row. 3 consecutive drives in a row. He did a stupid cutesy play that killed the momentum of the drive.
Yeah.
And me and Green Bay were saying it after the second one. We were like, if he does it again, we'll go fucking nuts. And then sure enough, he comes down and does the same stupid behind the line. And we couldn't believe it. It was like unbelievable. That's the shit he's got to stop. But at that point, we were blaming Salah. Because at some point, the head coach has to come over and say, knock it off.
I was waiting for a pause, and that's what I was going to say. I love Salah, but this is one of the things you fall into when you have a guy so experienced coaching on one side of the ball. Rex kind of let Schottenheimer and other guys do their thing, but he was calling the defense. Salah's not calling the defense, but the next step for him as a head coach is to be more assertive with what he wants out of his offense. It's to go in there and say, listen, we got Bam Knight back here smashing people. I want this dude to get 18 to 22 carries a game, under center, not being predictable, use more play action, move the pocket a little bit. Mike White's not the most athletic guy in the world, but everybody can do a little waggle or bootleg off of a play action. Get some favorable throws, if Kirk Cousins can do it every so often, Mike White can. Because I watched Mike White run out and catch a freaking pass for a 2-point conversion last year. So Mike White has some athleticism. He's not Vinny. You know what I mean? He can move enough to do a waggle or a play action or a bootleg or escape the pocket. I know people are praising his guts for standing in the pocket, but it could also call it a little bit of stupidity, right? Because you know you're going to take a massive hit. And when you take no attempt, call Brady weak, P-word, whatever you want to call him, he never takes that big hit, right? He'll take the sack, go down, and to avoid the hit to the torso. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for Mike White. We'll see. Like the games are all winnable. Seattle's a tough place to play. 2 home games in 4 days, no travel is definitely a bonus. So it's going to be curious, man. Like we can't split this week. We got to come out WW back to back. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. On the Quinnen note, I would be very surprised if Quinnen plays Sunday because we have just a 4-day turnaround, then with 10 days off. I think I would be shocked if Quinnen plays Sunday, knowing that we have a turnaround on Thursday. I think you would save him for the AFC game, and then you get 10 days to rest him before going Seattle, Miami, back to back on the road.
Right, like maybe they're thinking, man, we just do everything we can and pray that without him we can get through Detroit. We get that win without using him. It's such a win because then we get him fresh for Jacksonville and hopefully better. Right.
Jets 8:30 asked, do I fear the run game and the O-line? I don't fear anybody or anything with our defense. I know that sounds crazy to say, less than a year after being the worst defense in the NFL. But the thing I fear is our linebackers in space. That's the thing I fear. I don't fear a run game. I don't fear a run attack. Stevenson from the Patriots exploited us in the passing attack. And I know Mosley's made a lot of tackles, but I feel like the majority of them are chasing people after he missed originally or took an angle and didn't get there. Sometimes he's dead on. Sometimes he reads it perfectly and he's there. Other times I think he's off a little bit and then he's catching a guy 7-8 yards downfield on an angle pursuit. So I would really, I mean, with Reed and Sauce, I'm not worried about the pass game. If they get to us, it's going to be underneath game. It's going to be running backs, tight ends. Those will be the things that beat us until we get that real great cover linebacker. You know, Quincy, if Quincy cues you up, he's going to pop you and knock you in 3-4 yards back. And he's fun to watch. You know, Rankins, I thought, did a really good job stepping in last week after Quinnen went out. Rankins moved over to that role.
Yeah.
You know, Shepard's got to have a big game. You know, we got to hear Shepard's name a little bit. If they're going to run the ball up the middle on us and do those things, Shepard's got to be a factor.
We got to hope he can against the good line because
yeah,
you know, I don't completely trust him, but
and would it kill the referees to ever give a holding call on Bryce Huff or hands to the face when he's coming around the end and the lineman is inside the face mask, like palming his face like a basketball under the face mask? We can't get a goddamn call for that.
It's fucking every play. But again, that's another thing. That's another thing that Belichick would address that Saleh doesn't, and that's about and there's your experience versus non-experience. Because this is every week. Does Saleh go to the refs and say, "Look, this is happening. I want you to look for this every week"? Because Belichick does. Belichick goes out there and says, "They're holding my guy. They're holding my guy," even if they're not. He puts it in their head.
You can send footage to the league, and I'm sure they got a guy with all the video work that the Jets do, you know, with the One Jets Drive and everything else. You put together a list of the calls, you send it to the league. The Garrett Wilson step out of bounds, getting hit. You send that to the league. They address the crew throughout the week, and the crew has to answer to it. If that's true, what Garrett Wilson said that the referee said to him, that's insane.
That should be a fine. That ref should be suspended for that. Because that means that.
How do you make that comment as a referee?
How can you make that comment and not show that you clearly have bias?
If
you're thinking that about Garrett Wilson, if you're thinking this ain't Ohio State, that means you are biased. You are not impartial because you have bad feelings towards this kid. You're like hazing him.
You're basically saying I'm a Michigan fan. F you.
Right. But it's like hazing.
Or Penn State, right? Either
it's
one.
Like hazing. Like it's like almost like the Deep South. That's what you get here, boy. You know, that's what it sounds like to me. It comes off as that kind of thing. That's the way it is here, boy.
Why did you just turn into the sheriff from the Dukes of Hazzard?
But that's what it feels like to me. For them to say to him, this is not Ohio State.
It's not about protecting a player based off of where you attended school or what position you played. I've watched quarterbacks with 2 feet in bounds get hit, and they throw a flag because his intent was going out of bounds.
Right.
Garrett Wilson's foot was out of bounds. The second foot was almost past the white barrier, and he gets hit. How is that not a late hit? My daughter, she was 11 last Sunday, yelled out. She goes, "You can't hit him late like that." I'm like, how does my daughter know that? But an NFL official doesn't.
It's funny. I didn't realize she was only 11.
Yeah, she turned 12 today. Baby girl, 6th grade, man. Best girl in the world.
I thought she was older than that. That's interesting. Okay.
No. They're 2 years and 3 months apart. He's 14 and she just turned 12.
Okay.
Twisted, you're 100% right. 100% right, Twisted.
Total shit. It was total shit. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of us. JFM, when he pushes the guy down, and it was stupid for pushing him, but he pushes the quarterback down and they call it in a critical situation. Our rookie is hit 2 steps out of bounds, slammed to the ground, no flag. Unbelievable. They saw it happen because the referee didn't say, "What are you talking about?" I mean, they saw it and they said, "This is the NFL." And it's like, that's a lie because in the NFL, they call that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what is he talking about? This is the NFL, not Ohio State. You're supposed to call that.
No argument here, brother. The guys in the chat too. No argument. Everyone.
Tony wants me to do it again.
Oh, you can't force it though, right? It's got to be
I don't
natural.
know.
Like it's,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
to set you up with something, right?
You got to set me up. I'll throw it in there when I can, Tony. I can I'll throw it in when I can.
I like that they're like the chat's like, "Ooh, we're doing stupid pet tricks." All right, I got one for you, Jerry.
We're doing stupid metrics. That's great. They
The
catch
joys
on.
of being sick. You're ice cold, and then you go into now the body's like overheating at my Johnny Cash, my big baggy when I used to wear 4X shirts 100
Oh my
pounds ago.
god. Looks like you
Well, I
lost
got all
some
these
weight.
shirts that
Looks like
are
you
I've
lost some
lost.
weight, boy.
I've lost. You've been running from the cops, haven't you? So yeah, I've lost like 100 pounds. So I have all these 4X t-shirts, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to say night. It's a night t-shirt. It's sleeping. You know what I mean? It's a big baggy shirt that I put on to go to bed in.
It feels good. Like when I go on a diet, I have my fatter clothes, my fat clothes, and my thin clothes, and everything in between. When my clothes gets too loose, and I have to go into the closets here and go bring stuff to the dry cleaners from when I was lighter, it feels good. Like, and then I like wearing the loose stuff at night, like you're doing, because it
Yeah,
reminds me of look how good I'm doing. I'm losing weight.
yeah, yeah.
Man, after this year in New Year's, like once we get through these holidays, I have got a freaking. I'm gonna start living on fruit and vegetables or something, salad. I've got to lose a lot of weight, man. I gained so much weight.
Day after the Super Bowl, right? That's when
Nah,
everybody. That's when a lot of people give up drinking for a month. The diet starts. People. It used to be New Year's, but football fans are like day after the season.
no, January
no more 2 pizzas and 36 wings on a Sunday for myself.
January 2nd. I'm running out of things to wear. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. I'm gonna have to buy bigger fat clothes.
I can send you some shirts. I got some 3X and some 2XLTs.
I need some 2X's. I think I have extra large. The extra larges are getting too small and tight. I might have to me, if that's not a warning of Jeremy going on a diet, like all of a sudden now I'm double XL. I'm telling you, a year and a half ago I was in large. I've gained so much weight. Yeah.
Well,
so
you're
much
sitting
weight.
down at the computer a lot more now.
Well, it's not just that. I've just
And you're getting DoorDash service from the missus while you're sitting down.
I know.
It's
I've
like a
just
double-edged sword.
Yeah, I'm just eating like a lunatic. I mean, I start in the morning on the way to work, man. It's like you throw up if you knew my habits. Well, you wouldn't because you've probably done the same thing. So
when I lost the 100 pounds, I would wake up and I wouldn't eat. I did the intermittent fasting, and I was the job I was working. I was waking up about 9-10 o'clock every day, and I would only eat between 2 and 10 p.m. You can eat whatever you want. I'd eat Wendy's. I was still losing weight because now you're doing 16 hours without eating, and it's great for a diabetic. I'm type 2 diabetes, as you know. It's good because it burns the stored sugars in your body, and that's what helps you lose weight. So look into intermittent fasting. I know it's up, but for you don't want to do 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. with how early you wake up. You might want to do 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. or that's the window that you eat in,
Right.
But you still set yourself up with a 16-hour window to burn.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of doing like a combination of eating healthier, like cut out the candy and the absolute junk and crap, and just make better choices. Combine with the intermittent fasting, also but also get rid of the crap because I eat so much crap. It's like,
and you can start off with an egg white omelet, some veggies in there, bacon and sausage are fine because it's low carb, whatever type of diet you want to do. I know everybody has different.
I've done a lot of keto in my life. Like, I got really
Isn't keto and Atkins like the same thing? You're eliminating the carbs and like you're basically kicking your body into keto.
Keto's different. Keto's different because keto you continually do it and you starve your body of it, so it doesn't make insulin. Atkins is different because Atkins starts off as keto, but you work fruit and carbs back into your diet. You don't go as strict as keto. Keto is like literally 30 net carbs a day, no more. Like up to 30. That's it.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Whereas egg whites, grilled chicken salads.
Atkins is like, no, you do that for a month, but then you're allowed to start eating slowly some fruit, some this, some that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw somebody had it up while we were in that little tangent there, asking Sunday's predictions.
Yes, they were asking you for the predictions for Sunday. and we still haven't really gotten to the playoffs. I'm gonna want a yes or no answer. Gun to your head, are we making the playoffs? But you could talk about Sunday first.
I mean, you can't lose this game. If you have any hopes of making the playoffs, when you look at the Chargers schedule, I don't want to rely on other people. Salah said it this week too, and it's my thought. I don't want to rely on other people to do our job. That's what was so disappointing about losing the last two games is we controlled our own destiny. And I thought both games were winnable. I think, one of the things that Salah said after last season ended was we're not just only going to assess the players, we're going to assess ourselves as coaches and see what we could do better to put this team in a better position to win. I hope that doesn't wait until Black Monday or, after the season's over. I hope that happens week to week during the season too, especially when you're playing important football. Someone on your staff has to be able to look at everybody and go to the head coach and say, this was a bad call, this was a bad call, this was a bad call, this wasn't the right situation to make this call. Not just a bad call. That's I think too broad. This is not what the situation called for here. We got to be better. We got to be smarter. We got to be more efficient. We got to move the chains here. We can't be flashy here. If we need 6 yards, we can't throw the ball 2 yards downfield. We got to get better situational play calling and execution from our team. I don't want to start a war in the chat. I am very hesitant with what I've seen with Mike White the last 2 weeks to pump my chest with confidence. And you know me, when I believe in this team and I see what I like, I will go to the end of the world with a prediction. I did it in October. I loved what we were doing with Breece Hall and AVT. And despite Zach, we played a brand of winning football. I would like to see that implemented more. I think Bam Knight can be your workhorse. I'm very excited about the Bam Knight Breece Hall combination going forward for this team. I'll admit there's something that Detroit has. This game worries me. I wouldn't bet this game. Me, I love gambling. I would not touch this game because Detroit is gritty. Detroit puts up points. Detroit finds ways. And, the IOW show that I do with those guys, one of the guys on that show, his name's Detroit Mel. He's a Detroit fan, and I said to him for a year and a half that we're very similar teams. We both got head coaches that the players love. They play hard for. We're young and developing. We have some questions at the quarterback position. We're getting some gritty guys in. We're putting investments in the line and on defense. Aiden Hutchinson going against Remmers scares the heck out of me.
Yeah,
that scares me. I'll fully admit. So is
someone not playing that I don't know about? Is Dwayne Brown or Fant out?
I thought Fant was injured again, isn't he?
Didn't
somebody mention Remmers playing the right tackle in the chat today? I've been on the DL.
Oh, I guess it's possible. I wasn't paying attention too much either, but I didn't know that Fant was out.
I don't
If
think
Fant's
he's out.
out,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Or maybe he
If
came
Fant
in
is
last
out,
week.
that's a problem. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, Hutchinson's a problem. We're gonna have to be very careful. He might do us a favor. He might and I say this because we've seen this many times in football. Hutchinson comes in, sacks Mike White, crushes him. He has to come out because of his ribs. Zach comes in and lights the shit up and never loses the job. I mean, we've seen this happen historically in football over and over again. So sometimes something bad ends up being good, right?
You're right. Forgive me if I'm wrong with that. I've been on medication and sleeping a lot. I thought I saw something in our group chat. Fant is fine. Okay. All right. I'd rather Fant than Remmers, but I saw some. I think Remmers came in last week a little bit. Was that what happened?
I'm not sure. I didn't think so, but it's possible. They do that shit anyway. They give
pharmaceutical drugs mess up your brain. A lot of Dayquil and NyQuil this week.
Yeah, but he may have come in a little bit because that happens all the time. Because he may not have been in full football shape. He hasn't been able to, work out and train the way he's supposed to on a bad game.
Yeah. If we play our game, I don't want to play football in a shootout. Our defense is too good to do that. trust the defense, get a good drive in, get a touchdown, get 10 points at the half. Not 10 points in a game, not 6 points at the half. Get 10 points in the half, get to 20. We get to 20 with this defense, we're going to win the majority of games. We would have tied last week and went to overtime if we had 20, right, in regulation. So, we hit a couple of those touchdowns instead of field goals against Minnesota. That's another one. But one of the things, I'm not being Debbie Downer. Everyone who knows me knows that I look at things and I'll assess them, and there's a lot of thought. I'm not just throwing out random statements. But with losing your starting quarterback, 3 games in the beginning of the year with the Flacco starting, Hall, AVT, all the tackles, eventually things catch up to teams, right? There's a reason guys are starters and the reason guys are practice squad players and unsigned come week 1. I'm not making excuses because I love the resolve of this team and the head coach. But realistically, sometimes you just take too many hits. You get too many holes in a boat, it starts to sink, right?
No.
There's only so much water you can take on the boat or on a team, before it's just too much. And listen, if we lose AVT and Hall now, this week, we probably haven't lost since the Pittsburgh game. We beat Patriots twice. We beat Minnesota. We beat Buffalo. And now we can patch it the last 4 weeks. But losing those 2, who you could say offensively are our best 2 players, eventually it adds up. So Clemens should be back. Clemens was out for illness.
Yeah,
he practiced the whole week. He didn't practice the entire week, and they sat him last week as a precaution because you don't want somebody who doesn't have their wind in them trying to chase Josh Allen around.
Yeah, he's fine now, I'm sure. But I'd like to see more. So here's my take. I mean, first of all, I like the way we match up against teams that are like if they're strong in a certain, like in other words, I prefer this matchup where they're really good. Like I'd rather play a really good offense than a really good defense. Like I like the matchup of because we have a good defense, so we could neutralize their offense to an extent and contain them.
Yeah,
I mean, right, and then it gives our offense an opportunity because our offense has been so bad overall. When we play good defenses, we stink. But against teams like Detroit, like we have a chance that our offense will at least be functional. We'll move the ball. Maybe Garrett Wilson or Elijah will explode for some touchdowns. Like, we have a chance.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like I like this matchup better. Our offense has a chance. Maybe Bam Bam. Maybe Michael Carter run the ball. Maybe we control the line of scrimmage, like you said. Lots of time of possession. Keep their offense off the field. Maybe we finish our drives with some touchdowns. And if our defense, because they're not on the field enough, if our defense can hold and contain, I like that game better than having to go against a team with a great defense where I know it's going to be a shit show from us.
Yeah. There's a lot of what ifs with this team right now, right? For as confident as we were 2 months ago, there's a lot of what ifs right now.
And we're battered too. Like not to make excuses, but it's the truth. Yeah. We're not the same team. We don't have Breece Hall. We don't have AVT. We don't, we're Corey Davis now, banged up. And it's always something with us. But we're not the same team. I mean, we lost critical players. We lost our 2 best offensive players. I think Breece Hall and AVT, without argument, were our 2 best offensive players. Yeah. Now Garrett Wilson has stepped up and okay, right. But the reality is there's no worse, to me, the worst possible situation outside of quarterback position player wise was to lose AVT and to lose Breece Hall. Those were our 2 best players.
Yeah. Yeah. And on defense, you would probably say Quinnen and Sauce, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's the equivalent of the offensive too, right?
Quinnen and Sauce, without question.
Mosley is like the QB, but the mental value he brings and the preparation and getting everybody aligned and play calling, is important. But performance-wise, you look at Sauce and Quinnen. Imagine if you take Sauce and Quinnen off the defense, it's not going to be the same, right? So how can we expect our offense to be the same?
They make so many of the plays. Yeah. The one thing I want to say about Mosley, and I think maybe I'm too high on the guy, Maybe people think I'm ridiculous. I really like Jamie and Sherwood. I really like him. I think when Mosley came out, the guy made in 4 plays made 3 solo tackles. I mean, I think, and I'm not saying I want Mosley not to play. I'm saying I think that we have a good next guy up when Mosley does go out.
Yeah, it's curious to see. Thoughts on? Yeah, that's exactly what I was reading.
It's still
okay.
No, because it's still not gone. It's like it won't end, and I've been sucking it all night. Oh God. Say it.
2 hours, 16 seconds in. I am going to break that down into a little clip and just send that to you occasionally. Hey, Jeremy, how's your day going? I've been sucking it all day long. That was beyond it. That's what she said.
That was beyond. That's
what you said.
That was beyond. That's what she said.
No wonder nobody else could come on the show with you. They're all napping after that performance. It reminds me of Jets 830. If you've ever seen me do a show, I drink the tall boy beers, the 24-ounce beers, but I hate drinking out of a can, so I always pour it into a cup. And as soon as I take a sip out of the cup, I'll take the can and refill it, so it's always filled. So people have joked with me that I have the never-ending beer.
It's done.
All right, gun to my head, playoffs? No.
So no, okay. I honestly
the back-to-back losses hurt too much.
I honestly believe it's not even argumentative because I know you want me to be right. That's the thing. It's not even an argument because I know you want me to be right.
I hope I'm wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. Right. I pray to God that I'm wrong.
I feel like we're gonna make the playoffs, and you know why? I'm gonna sum it up in one thing. One thing that was said that makes me believe we're gonna go to the playoffs.
What's that?
You remember Saleh got frustrated in the beginning of the year, and he said something about taking receipts. He goes, I'm going to take receipts, and how the locker room responded and how the team responded to that.
Yeah.
He said something that I think was very similar in the response he's going to get from the locker room. After that Buffalo game, he said, we'll see them again.
Correct. We see them twice a year. He's right.
No. He meant this year, though. He goes, we'll see him again this year.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that honestly, I think that is similar to the receipts comments. I think that is the kind of thing that could end up rallying the locker room and rallying the team because their coach said basically, we're going to the playoffs. And he said it like it's a fact, like he believes it, not he's hoping. He said it like he confidently knows we'll see him again. And I think that has an impact on the team. And I could be wrong, and I could totally left field. Maybe none of the players even thought about it. But to me, it felt the same. It felt like what a great head coach does later on. You look back at it and go, that was when it all changed. When our coach got up and said, we'll see him again.
It's a state of mind, right? Because, I've coached football for years. And one of my tricks I would always pull out is something similar. When the team is down, things aren't going the right way, whether it's mid-game, mid-practice during a week, or after the occasional loss that we would suffer, I would tell them it's not over. And you tell them it's kind of like the same thing, right? Like a father talking to a child, a coach talking to his team. I believe in you. I need you to believe in yourself. One of my lines that I tell the boys all the time is always believe in yourself. It's the most powerful force on earth. When you believe you can do something, there's nothing greater than that type of mindset. So what does the coach do? He goes up in front of the media and says, without saying, right, we've lost 2 in a row. Guys got their heads down. This shit ain't over. I believe in my guys. My guys will believe in my guys. We will rally. We will come together. And if everyone in the world doesn't think we can do it, we're going to go and prove you wrong. It's basically what he said, right? Like we're gonna get this done. We are going to accomplish what we need to accomplish. We are going to go to bat for one another, and we are going to be a team that nobody wants to see. We lost the game in CBS last week. I was like, what am I watching? Everyone on CBS was like, the Bills do not want to see the Jets again. It's twice we held the Bills to 20 points or less, and basically made them look. You know who don't want to see us? Kansas City. I would love to go into Kansas City in round 1 with that 2-7 matchup and play Mahomes. Couple reasons. Josh Allen couldn't get out of the pocket and really scramble much. Mahomes is very good at that. I'm petrified of Kelce because, like I said earlier, the backbreaker for this defense is tight ends.
Yeah.
You can't play some weak soft zone and just let Kelce go 7 yards, turn, and then go 5-6 yards up the field.
He'll eat us alive.
It'll be quick release after quick release to neutralize our pass rush. So that's a game where like Sherwood or Quan has to just man up on Kelce and then bracket to help it. But that's down the road. I'm saying no on the playoffs because of the fact the Chargers schedule, winning that Dolphin game, that was the game we needed them to lose to stay behind us. I'm not worried about the Patriots because the Patriots still have the Bengals, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
It's amazing that the Dolphins couldn't beat the Chargers. The one time we wanted them to win. Amazing.
Yeah. And now we have to flip the mentality of let the Chargers win and let oh my God, my mind went back. Let the Dolphins lose because the Dolphins will lose to the Bills this week. We can beat the Dolphins. We can jump the Dolphins. It's the easiest team for us to jump.
We have control of our own destiny for the Dolphins because we play them again and we just have to stay within a game of them. The Chargers actually could hurt us. We need the Chargers to lose, and we need the Chargers and the Patriots to lose. They're the teams that could end us. Yeah. If those two teams run the table, we're dead. We're in trouble because we don't beat them. So that's the biggest threat to us is the Charger. The biggest threat to us is like us. Let's assume we win out. The only thing that could stop us from making the playoffs is if the Chargers and the Patriots ran the table. So those are even if we won every game. Like we do not control our own destiny. If we win every game, but New England and the Chargers win every game, we do not make the playoffs. So that's right now. Those are the two teams that are threatening our control your own destiny. So we really need to root against the Chargers and the Patriots more than anything.
I think the Chargers are a lost cause because them beating the Dolphins, you look at the schedule they have left. I think it's, I want to say Tennessee, Indy, Broncos, Raiders. I think that's their 4 if I'm correct.
Yeah, division games are tough in that division. They're always tough.
You know what we need this week? We need a Raider win. We need the Raiders to beat the Pats.
I know.
Because now then the Patriots have Bengals, Bills, Dolphins to end the season. They're going 0-4. They're not beating any of those teams.
Well, and that's why I say realistically, we do kind of control our own destiny because realistically, if we were to win all 4, we're going to the playoffs. No one. It's this. The Patriots aren't going to win out. So like we're gonna go.
Yeah. Just 2 wins, 4 days. You have to.
Right.
If we don't go 2 wins, 4 days, then it's a nice story. It's a nice building block. There's a lot to look forward to. 2 wins in 4 days puts pressure on everybody else. 2 wins in 4 days puts us at 9-6 to win 1 of 2 on the road to get to 10.
And how if we get those 2 wins in 4 days, like if that happens, I mean, doesn't it erase all the pain, all the don't you think on Friday, if we win that game on Thursday, on that Friday, all of Jets Nation is together on feeling good and like
I won't be feeling good, dude. I'll be goofed up on Percocets.
you won't, but the rest of us will be over it all, right? All this craziness and upsetness. I mean, Walter. Winning heals all. Except for when you're getting your ACL repaired.
My life, man. It's a horror movie. It's a comedy horror. It's like Adam Sandler writing the Transylvania movies, like cartoon. It's a comedy, supposed to be like spooky movie at the same time.
Well, now I know about like your living evidence of like sometimes because people want to say, oh, it's excuses. No. I watched you get a job that basically would allow you to make as much money as you wanted to make. It was a good job. It did make you miserable. It was a perfect situation. It was exactly what you needed. And then boom, blow out your ACL, boom, get sick. But like there are some times in life where you just just dealt a shitty hand, and I am sorry to say that that's happening to you, but I do believe that things do come back around.
And you know what? I'm not sitting here to fillet myself or do the Brooklyn Brawler, pat myself on the back, but the fact that all of this crap happens to me and I still can put a smile on my face and others throughout the day just amazes me at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much, there's an avalanche at times, and I thought you said 10 minutes. No problem, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's anyone can get beaten down, and get knocked down, but it says more about you when you get up from it.
Yeah.
So, not to get sappy, but
No,
I can only do what I can do, man. I can just keep trying. Right now, the main thing is rehab, get better, get back to work, and change things around, change the narrative, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like what Salah says. It's great life advice, man. It's like you have the pen of your own life. It's like you write it. Don't let
Literally
it
holding a Sharpie right now, as you said that.
Yeah, just don't let it write you. You write it. Like once you get better and heal, like you control your own destiny. Just take ownership. Just do it. But
Yeah,
you think
tough.
that new job will be waiting for you when you're out and done?
It's to be determined. The offer that I got was good.
And what about the job that you had?
Well, they have to legally hold it.
Okay. You got the Family Act or whatever protecting you for that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a workman's comp injury. You
Yeah.
have the they have to hold your position.
Good.
You know, the main thing is just rehab, get myself back.
Yeah.
So
Do
we'll
all the
see.
exercises. Do all the exercises. Don't argue with the physical therapist.
No. I'm you know, I've told you I've ruptured both of my biceps throughout the year, so I know that it's strenuous. It takes patience. I'll do what I have to do. You know, the main thing I've been doing it now is mobility. They're like, don't let the leg get stiff. You know, this happened October 21st, and the Medi-Merge dragged their feet so much because they were trying to milk the workman's comp money that they took. I didn't get an MRI until the day after Thanksgiving, a month later, more than a month after the injury. And then when they got the radiologist report, they're like, oh, ruptured ACL, torn PCL, torn meniscus, torn outer meniscus. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, so basically you're saying I can't go to the NFL Combine in February? I was like, damn, this is going to be my year. Excuse me. Oh, so, you know, it is what it is, man. You got to just attack it head on, run right through another wall, come out a victor on the other side, just like the Jets need to do.
Okay, so final prediction: score for the Detroit game.
Oh, 100-0 Jets.
You guys can put it in the chat too. You guys put it in the chat. What's your prediction? Final score of the Jets Detroit. I'll start. Well, let me take a few seconds to think about it. Well, I'm going to think that we're going to put up. I'm going to say we're going to score 31 points and we're going to hold them to a reason. I'm going to 31-17 Jets.
I'm going to go 27-16.
Jets.
Yeah. I'm going to go 27-16. I mean, I can get aggravated as I want with this team, but I'll always predict them to win.
Right. Hank G is saying 28-13 Jets. So he's right along there with us. Right along there with us is Hank G. So that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much the same.
We got to disrupt Goff. Like, if our pass rush does what our pass rush can do, they're not hitting those big pass plays. Sauce and Reed against St. Brown and Jameson Williams is back. It's his third game back. He caught a 41-yard touchdown last week.
Yeah, his first touchdown. Yeah,
love the kid. You know as well as anybody how much I wanted that kid.
Even
with the knee injury, I said I wanted him over Garrett. Me too. He was WR1 for me in this draft. You know, I love everything about Garrett Wilson. I mean, I would change that now, but going in, I'm going to be real. I'm not going to say, oh, I knew Garrett was the guy. I wanted Jameson, even with the injury. So he's going to be a hell of a talent in this league. And I love Reed and Sauce. I just, we gotta play our brand of football.
Yeah.
And I feel that since the AVT and Hall injuries, we don't have our identity. I've said this to you several times in the chat. We don't have that identity, right? You don't look at the Titans, Derrick Henry, identity. Aaron Rodgers, identity. Patrick Mahomes, they have an identity. You know what they want to do. I feel like we're throwing darts at a board like this. Like, oh, we're going to throw it 50 times? All right, we're going to throw it 50 times this week. Okay, we're going to run it? All right, we're going to kick 5 field goals? Okay. Like, we don't have that identity. Now, if you stop being cute and just get not overly cute with trick plays and just be creative with how you're going to get your guys the ball, not doing the crazy trick plays, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come up with a good plan to get everybody going. Get Bam Knight going. Stop running Michael Carter up the middle. Just scrap that. Why are we running Michael Carter up the middle? We haven't been able to run an inside trap game since the final drive against Buffalo. Team saw what we wanted to do, and since then they've said, F that, we're taking that away from you. So get some swing passes to Carter. Get him out in space. You saw what he did in the sideline against Buffalo and New England the first time. Get him out in space. Stop trying to run him up the middle. He's not Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say hello to Spence GC. Spence actually joined me and my brother last year at a watch party. We were covering a Denver, I forget who they were playing. And he just started watching, and he's been a supporter of the channel ever since. So thanks, Spence.
Oh, awesome.
And if like one favor for you, Spence, if you could have your Denver Broncos, as bad a year as it's been, can you step up and just beat the Chargers when you play them?
Please.
Please just beat the Chargers.
I feel so bad for Denver. They score 28 points finally, and they lose. Like, I felt so bad.
I mean, talk about not being able to play complimentary football, right? I mean, just they finally score some points, and the defense decides not to show up. So,
I don't know, Jets 8:30. I don't know. I haven't looked. I can't even tell you.
Jets 24-15 came.
Nice. Lions are gonna be us with a bunch of field goals. So, all right, brother. We'll talk.
All right.
All
right, everybody. Well, thanks, Nick.
Try to get on next week if you'll have me. I'll try to get on next Wednesday before the Jags game Thursday. I shouldn't have to be up early for surgery.
Well, hopefully
I highly doubt I'm getting the 6 a.m. surgery.
If you're feeling better, you could definitely come on. Sure. No problem. That's your gift for coming on tonight and saving me.
No worries, man. Anytime, and like I've been going to bed earlier. I've been trying to get some rest. I've been trying to do some sort of rehab, and it really tires me out, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
Jets sign, huh? Oh my God. Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat. Was it say Kev Tag? Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it, Kev Tag. I love your logo. Look at that Jets logo.
That's good.
I love that. Look at that. I love that. I don't know what that's a picture of. It's on a wall in a bar or something. I like that a lot. Nice. I appreciate it.
Like wood. It looks like wood treatment. If I had to guess, I would say that's some sort of wood treatment, like plaque or like wall sign, like that up there.
Beautiful.
Let me just plug and get out of here.
All right, brother. Plug your shit. Plug your shit.
Yeah. As you guys see on the name, proud New York Jets fans. I know Grandizer posted it a few times throughout there. I'm on the DL right now, so the shows haven't been as frequently as we could. Things are going to pick up. Thank you, everyone. You guys will hear from me, see me. Proud New York Jets fan, YouTube, Twitter. If you're on Facebook, you can search Proud New York Jets fans and join the group on there. And thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you guys next week, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays to everybody. Healthy, happy New Year. And as always, let's go Jets.
All right. Thanks.
Later, bud. Love you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. All right, guys. So you see it. There was the man. Nice surprise guest, right? See, I like to bring it. And we'll have Nick back on next week. Hopefully he'll be up to it. So I hope that happens. Man, I got tired, so we need some more energy in here. So I'm going to leave you with this. I want to, before I go, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for everybody who stayed up and everything like this. It's a weird time of year in December. Usually we don't get so many people, but I appreciate everybody who stuck through and is supporting the channel, watching the videos, commenting on the videos, liking the videos, watching the live streams, anyone who's watching the replay of this, because we end up getting so many people to watch the replay. It's amazing how many people watch this. That don't watch it live. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Those of you that aren't in the chat but are watching, I know there's a bunch of you out there. Thanks so much, and take care. And we'll see you. Well, I'll see you again for sure. I'll see you a little bit tomorrow, maybe not, but I'll definitely see you on Sunday. I'll definitely see you for that Detroit game. Come to Green Bean Jets fan. Watch the game with us, and go Jets. Take care, guys. Greatest co-host in the world, Watsuke99. Get ready to rumble!
The tag team champions of the world.
My brotherly Creepath.
That is the best intro I have ever received.
The world. Buffalo Jets fan.
Yo.
George Fant is a barely above replacement level, pretty good left tackle.
How can you say
Compare
that when
that
he
to
was
an-
top 3 in sack percentage last year for left tackles?
And I think when in doubt, until you have better reason, go with the optimistic view. And our defensive line is going to be giving a lot of people some trouble.
But yeah, it's got to be. I'm with you. I don't like the Nathan's fries when they're like floppy. It's got to be like done really well. You know, it's very hard to teach 6'3" and 4.3 speed. That's very rare. The talent's there. He's just got to put it together mentally.
Right.
To get onto you, I'm a cheater.